You know that Neil Armstrong was the first person to land on the moon. But did you know that in 1976, Neil Armstrong went on a mission to the jungle? Yes, not a lot of people know about that, which is weird, because more than 100 people were involved in that mission. The mission in hand, locating a secret cave system in Ecuador. And to help Armstrong, there are Ecuadorian military personnel and scientists from all around the world. A mission of such a scale, with Armstrong involved, had to be all over the news. But it didn't. What do you think they were hiding? Welcome to Lab 360. It's time to explore. First things first, these caves are far from ordinary. It is believed that the cave features a golden library, made entirely of metal. This unique library is said to contain books inscribed in a mysterious language that nobody has been able to decipher yet. However, it is believed that these books contain knowledge so advanced that it could change humanity forever. Apparently, the metal library harbors knowledge from an extraterrestrial civilization, which provided us with the means to construct remarkable structures like the pyramids on Earth, just like they had it back in their planet. The information housed in this library possesses the potential to upend our current understanding of ourselves and the world we inhabit. Therefore, what astounding revelations might this library contain? And why did a highly regarded scientist like Neil lend credence to this story? Some speculate that his curiosity in extraterrestrial secrets was kindled by a personal encounter with otherworldly beings on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The world watched Neil Armstrong become the first man to set foot on the moon. But did you know that during their time on the moon, the transmission was cut off for 2 minutes? Remember this part, because it is very important and shows how NASA may have a pattern when it comes to keeping something from the world every time. So, with the communication cut off, the astronomers are left without a string to hold, 380,000 kilometers from the Earth. But what if they could switch to another channel that is not accessible to the public? Apparently, that's what happened. Neil Armstrong switched his communication channel to send this message. Hey, Houston, we are coughing. We're on the edge of the crater and they are watching us. Okay, we can verify the position. Stories circulated upon their return that they saw extraterrestrial beings with their vehicles on the rim of the crater. When asked, NASA denied all the stories, saying that it was just a technical glitch. Neil Armstrong, too, never spoke about the technical glitch. However, after coming back to Earth, he was a changed person. 8 years later, he set out on this expedition to find out if the legend of the cave is real. Making his way through dense jungle, Armstrong and his team reached the mysterious underworld, a black void. Once inside the caverns, they had to go through chamber after chamber of cathedral-sized spaces. The walls were straight and right-angled. Finally, they reached a place wherein lay a burial chamber and a skeleton, which upon carbon dating was found to be from 1500 BC, the Late Bronze Age. Armstrong realized that this couldn't be an ordinary skull, and as such, he pushed on, hoping to find the library soon. But suddenly, he stops and returns to his farm in Ohio. He doesn't speak about it ever again. The private man became even more private. What do you think he saw? Let's go back to the part where the transmissions get cut off. With other missions to the moon before and following Apollo 11, it seems like cutting off the transmission became a go-to recipe for NASA from the pages of their playbook. Why am I saying that? Check this out. So the Apollo 8 was originally intended to be an Earth orbital test of the lunar module. However, completion of the lunar module was behind schedule, and NASA wanted to maintain its launch schedule, with the goal of attempting the first lunar landing in summer 1969. Because of that, and in light of the highly successful Apollo 7 mission, NASA made the audacious decision to send Apollo 8 to the moon. The mission was a success, and this Apollo 8 view of Earth rising over the limb of the moon is one of the most iconic photos of the space age. But what many do not know is that something very strange happened during the mission, while the astronauts were on board the spacecraft. Something that even NASA cannot explain till this day. Yes, on December 21, 1968, the $113 million Saturn V rocket blasts off from the Kennedy Space Center. Within the next 10 minutes, the Apollo 8 reaches beyond the Earth's atmosphere, making it humanity's first mission into deep space. The world is ecstatic, the astronauts keep their calm, but deep down they know that no training could prepare them for the magnificence of watching the moon from up close. They were making history, the first people to orbit the moon. The capsule reverses 230,000 miles of space to reach its destination. But then, something strange happens. Apollo 8 loses communication with Earth. A mild panic takes over mission control as scientists desperately try to re-establish contact. Meanwhile, the astronauts orbit the moon, becoming the first humans to reach such distance from our planet, into deep space. The communication blackout remains for 45 minutes, as the world waits in anticipation. Ground control wouldn't know until they re-emerge from the far side of the moon. But as luck would have it, the spacecraft reappears with all the crew members, unharmed and undamaged. The mission becomes a resounding success. However, what happened during those 45 minutes becomes a top secret, and is kept in a folder where it lies undiscovered for many years. So, what did they see on the backside of the moon? There is a recording device on board the capsule that records everything. NASA transcribes the recordings and seal them in the archives. And this secret would remain undiscovered for several years had some amateur scientists not discovered the files. Just before heading back to Earth, a strange conversation is being recorded by the recording device. The astronauts see something on the surface of the moon that doesn't fit any explanation. They see lights. There's something strange down there and it looks like fire, one of the astronauts says. And not just that, apparently, the fire looked like a campfire or a bonfire. Yes, they say these words. It is all transcribed. The sad part is that there is no visual data of what they saw. Over the years, many have tried to explain what Barman and Anders saw, but how do you explain fire without oxygen? It is impossible to have fire on the lunar surface. Some scientists suggested that after reaching the lunar orbit, the Apollo craft, which jettisons at Stage 3 rocket booster, could be the reason for the bonfire sighting. There is a little oxygen left in the fuel of a rocket, so maybe the debris crashed against the surface of the moon, resulting in what the astronauts saw. However, this theory couldn't hold the ground, as NASA tracks the path of every separated booster, and the records contradict the theory. And hence, till date, the mystery remains a mystery. So what did the astronauts see? Well, we will have to wait, but looks like the wait time is narrowing down. With the upcoming Artemis manned mission, NASA will land the first woman and first person of color on the moon, using innovative technologies to explore more of the lunar surface than ever before. They will also collaborate with commercial and international partners and establish the first long-term presence on the moon. Then, from there we will use what we learn on and around the moon to take the next giant leap, sending the first astronauts to Mars. We wait with bated breath to find more interesting things on the moon. And maybe, we will finally have an answer to what the astronauts on board the Apollo 8 saw on the surface of the moon. Here's wishing NASA all the very best. What do you guys have to say? Drop in your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Lab 360, because together, we will explore. Hey guys, if you like our videos, please consider becoming a member to support us. Thanks so much for your love and support. Until next time.